Every day, our feeds are flooded with two things: Terminator memes and endless complaints about generic AI slop. We laugh off bad six-fingered AI art as a cheap parlor trick, or we distance ourselves entirely by joking about a distant cinematic robot apocalypse. But focusing on those two extremes creates a massive blind spot. While we've been distracted by the noise, a very real, very quiet transformation has been happening right in front of us. The tech industry has spent the last 5 years assembling a complete autonomous digital worker, and it is now ready for deployment. Look at this blueprint. We can map the structural progression of our worker over just half a decade. The economic threat becomes clear when we track how this technology grew from an isolated digital brain into a capable physical entity. The danger here isn't the processing speed of the microchips. The danger is our collective failure to recognize that this worker's anatomy is nearly finished, and we haven't updated our own skills to compete with it. Understanding this anatomical evolution is the first step towards staying relevant in a changing workforce. The assembly started with the brain. Between 2020 and 2023, large language models like ChatGPT gave us access to raw intelligence. But early on, that brain was trapped inside a box. It could only perform a task or answer a question if a human sat down and typed a highly specific prompt. This diagram shows the wrapper era. Developers connected this isolated brain to standard business software, programs like Salesforce and Notion, using API pipelines. These connections gave the AI eyes and ears, allowing it to see and hear live business data flowing across platforms in real time. Today, we are firmly in the agentic era, where the system has developed hands and feet. AI has been given browser access, meaning the system can move a digital mouse on your screen and execute tasks on its own. It can recall complex routines and autonomously run repetitive digital workflows on a set schedule, without human initiation. AI has conquered the digital domain. It possesses the sensory and motor skills required to replace a human sitting behind a computer. A digital worker is limited if it is permanently trapped behind a glass screen. It needs a way into the real world. That brings us to the exoskeleton phase. Engineers are taking that developed digital brain and installing it directly into mechanical bodies. The mechanical framework built to house these digital minds is already standing on factory floors. This entity can now think, remember, and decide, while simultaneously manipulating the analog world to build things with its own hands. The immediate human cost falls directly on routine physical labor. Warehouse logistics, moving heavy pallets, and pulling inventory are the exact tasks next for replacement. These machines lack genuine human emotion, but their ability to mimic complex cognitive responses is nearly complete. With the completion of the exoskeleton, the divide between digital software experiments and the physical workforce has vanished. To see where this autonomous workforce is heading, we have to examine how billionaires are constructing entirely new industrial ecosystems. Look at Elon Musk's vertical integration model. He owns the foundational digital brain through his AI company, xAI. He controls the rest of the closed-loop equation. He builds the physical Optimus robot bodies, controls the Starlink communications network to tie them together, and owns the SpaceX transportation hardware to move them. The goal of this ecosystem is to deploy a robotic workforce to Mars, build industrial ecosystems, and ship those products back to Earth. Robots function in toxic environments, don't suffer from climate shifts, and don't require labor unions. This Mars blueprint proves that human-free supply chains are no longer theoretical. They are the active business plan of the world's most powerful entities. Let's step away from the scale of Mars. We cannot individually control billionaire ecosystems, nor can we stop existential AI development. The actual immediate threat that we can control is our own inaction, the refusal to learn how these new tools function. Surviving this economic shift requires you to step up and become the manager and director of these new digital bodies. You have to learn how to prompt accurately, build automated routines, and direct the machine's raw output toward a specific, useful goal. Because there is one final piece of the anatomy that secures human value: our judgment. The machine cannot replicate authentic human connection, your specific taste, or your capacity for bespoke feeling. The future belongs to those who infuse automated execution with human taste. You must choose to ride this wave, or you will be replaced by the machine.